Shalom, shalom, shalom. Watching me right now. Today is day 183 of 365 days of daily reading, daily meditation of God, and we are here again. Today we are reading the book of 2 Kings 5, 6, 7, 8. I feel like we are running with this 2 Kings now. May the Lord God guide us and give us understanding of His word. 2 Kings 5, 6, 7, 8. There are so many stories in Second Kings. Okay. Yesterday we saw the Shunammite woman. Yeah. Now we are reading about 3, 4, 5 pages, which is pretty good, intensive also, and more to remember. So Naaman's disease is healed. Naaman, commander of the army for the king of Aram, was a man important to his master and highly regarded because through him the Lord had given victory to Aram. The man was a violent warrior, but he had a skin disease. Aram had gone on raids and brought back from the land of Israel a young girl who served Naaman's wife. She said to her mistress, If only my master were with the prophet who is in Samaria, he would cure him of his skin disease. So Naaman went and told his master what the girl from the land of Israel had said. Therefore the king of Aram said, Go, and I will send a letter to the king of Israel. So he went and took with him 750 pounds of silver, 150 pounds of gold, and 10 sets of clothing. He brought the letter to the king of Israel, and it read, When this letter comes to you, know that I have sent you my servant Naaman, for you to cure him of his skin. When the king of Israel read the letter, he tore his clothes and asked, My God, killing and giving life, that this man expects me to cure a man of his skin disease. Recognize that he is on. When Elisha, the man of God, heard that the king of Israel was his clothes, he sent a message to the king. Why have you torn your clothes? Have him come to me, and he will know there is a prophet in Israel. So Naaman came with his horses and chariots and stood at the door of Elisha's house. Then Elisha sent him a messenger who said, Go wash 7 times in the Jordan, and your skin will be restored, and you will be angry and left, saying, I was telling myself, he will surely come out, stand and call on the name of the Lord his God, and wave his hand over the place and cure me. uh, okay. Wave his hand over the place and cure the skin disease. Aren't Aban aren't Farfa, the rivers of Damascus, better than all the waters of I wash in them and be clean. So he turned and left in a rage. But his servants approached and said to him, My father, if the prophet had told you to do some great thing, would you not have done it? How much more should you do it when he only tells you, Wash and be clean? So Naaman went down and dipped. That's great wisdom. Naaman went down and dipped himself in the Jordan 7 times, according to the command of the name of the man of God. Then his skin was restored and became like the skin of a small boy, and he was clean. Then Naaman and his whole company went back to the man of God, stood before him, and declared, I know there is no God in the whole world except in Israel. Therefore, please accept a gift from your servant. But Elisha said, As the Lord lives in whose presence I stand, I will not accept it. Naaman urged him to accept it, but he refused. Naaman responded, "If not, please let your servant be given as much soil as a pair of mouths can carry. For your servant will no longer offer a burnt offering or a sacrifice to any other god but the Lord. However, in a particular matter, may the Lord pardon your servant when my master, the king of Aram, goes into the temple of Rimmon to bow in worship while he is leaning on my arm, and I have to bow in the temple of Rimmon. When I bow in the temple of Rimmon, may the Lord pardon your servant in this matter." Peace. Gehazi greed punished. After Naaman had traveled a short distance from Elisha, Gehazi, the attendant of Elisha, the man of God, thought, "My master has let this Aramean Naaman off lightly by not accepting from him what he brought. As the Lord lives, I will run after him something from him." So Gehazi pursued Naaman. When Naaman saw someone running after him, he got down from the chariot to meet him and asked, "Is everything all right?" Gehazi said, "It's all right. My master has sent me to say, I have just now discovered that two young men from the sons of the prophets have come to me from the hill country of Ephraim. Please give them 75 pounds of silver." But Naaman insisted, "Please accept 150, and then packed 150 pounds of silver into bags of clothing. Naaman gave them to two of his attendants, who carried them ahead of Gehazi. When Gehazi came to took the gifts from them and deposited them in the house. Then he dismissed the men and they left. Gehazi came and stood by his master. "Where did you go, Gehazi?" Elisha asked him. He replied, "Your servant didn't go anywhere, and my heart didn't go when the men got down to meet you." Elisha said, "Is this a time to accept silver and clothing, olive orchards and vineyards, flocks and herds and maize? Therefore, Naaman's skin disease will cling to you and your descendants forever." So Gehazi went out from his presence, diseased, resembling snow. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, ne? Is this the time to accept silver and clothing? The floating axe head. The son of the prophet said to Elisha, "Please notice that the place where we live under your supervision is too small for us. Please let us go to the Jordan, where we can each get ourselves a place to live there." Then one said, "Please come with your servant." "I'll come," he answered. So he went with them, and when they came to the Jordan, they cut down trees. As one of them was cutting down a tree, the iron axe head fell into the water, and he cried out, "Oh, my master, it was borrowed." Then the man of God asked, "Where did it fall?" When he showed him the place, the man of God cut a piece of wood, threw it there, and made the iron float. Then he said, "Pick it up." So he reached out and took it. The Aramean war. When the king of Aram was waging war against Israel, he conferred with his servant, "My camp will be at such and such a place." But the man of God sent words to the king of Israel, "Be careful passing by this place, for the Arameans are going down there." Consequently, the king of Israel sent words. The king of Israel sent words to the place the man of God had told him about. The man of God repeatedly warned the king, so the king would be on his guard. The king of Aram was enraged because of this matter, and he called his servants and demanded of them, "Tell me, which one of us is for the king of Israel?" One of his servants said, "No one, my lord, the king." Elisha. "No one, my lord, the king." Elisha, the prophet in Israel, tells the king of Israel even the words you speak in. Wow. So the king said, "Go and see where he is, so I can send me so I can send men to capture him." When he was told Elisha, he sent horses, chariots, and a massive army. They went by night and surrounded the city. When the servants of the man of God got up early and went out, he discovered an army with horses and chariots surrounding the city. So he asked Elisha, "Oh, my master, what are we to do?" Elisha said, "Don't be afraid, for those who are with us outnumber those who are with them." Then Elisha prayed, "Lord, please eyes and let him see blindness," according to Elisha's word. "This is not the city. Follow me, and I will take you to them." Led them to Samaria. Mm. When they entered Samaria, Elisha said, "Lord, open these men's eyes and let them see." So the Lord opened their eyes, and they saw that they were in the middle of Samaria. So then he said to Elisha, "Should I kill them? Should I kill them?" Elisha replied, "Don't kill them. Do you kill those you have captured with your sword or your bow? Set food and water in front of them, eat and drink, and go to their master." So he prepared a big feast for them. When they had eaten and drunk, he sent them away, and they went to their master. The Aramean riders did not come into Israel's land again. Wow, wisdom. The siege of Samaria. Sometime later, King Ben-Hadad of Aram brought all his military units together and marched up and laid siege to Samaria. So there was a severe famine in Samaria, and they continued the siege against it until a donkey's head sold for 34 ounces of silver, and a cup of dung sold for 2 ounces of silver. As the king of Israel was passing by on the wall, a woman cried out to him, "My lord, the king, help." He answered, "If the Lord doesn't help you, where can I get help for you? From the threshing floor or the winepress?" Then the king asked, then the king asked her, "What's the matter?" She said, "These women say to me, 'Give up your son, and we will eat him today. Then we will eat my son tomorrow.' So we boiled my son and ate him. And I said to her the next day, 'Give up your son, and we will eat him.' But she has hidden her son." Then, as he was passing by on the wall, eating each other's sons, yes, yes, yes. Then, as he was passing by on the wall, the people saw that there was sackcloth under his clothes next to his skin. He announced, "May God punish me and do so severely if the head of Elisha, son of Shaphat, remains on him." The king sent a man ahead of him, but before the messenger got to him, Elisha said to the elders, "Do you has sent someone to remove my head? Look, the messenger comes. Shut the door to keep him out. Isn't the sound of his master's feet behind him?" Hmm. While Elisha was still speaking with them, the messenger came down to him. Then he said, "This disaster is from the Lord. Why should I wait for the Lord any longer?" Elisha replied, "Hear the word of the Lord. What the Lord says. About this time tomorrow at Samaria's gate, 6 cars of fine flour will sell for a half ounce of silver, and 12 cars of barley will sell for a half ounce of silver." Then the captain, the king's right hand man, responded to the man of God, "Look, even if the Lord were to make windows in heaven, could this really happen?" Elisha announced, "You will in fact see it with your own eyes, but you won't eat any of it." Now 4 men with a skin disease were at the entrance of the city gate. They say to each other, "Why just sit here until we die? If we say, 'Let's go into the city,' we will die there because the famine is in the city. But if we sit here, we will also die. So now, come on, let's surrender. Let's surrender to the Arameans camp. If they let us live, we will live. If they kill us. So the diseased men got up at twilight to go to the Arameans' camp. When they came to the camp's edge, they discovered no one was there, for the Lord had caused the Aramean camp to hear the sound of chariots, horses, and a large army. The Arameans had said to each other, "The king of Israel must have hired." So they had gotten up and fled with light. The camp was in fact they and they had fled for their lives. When these diseased men came to the edge of the camp, into a tent to eat and drink. They went into a tent to eat and drink. Then they picked up the silver, gold, and clothing and went off and hid them. They came back and entered another tent, picked things up and hid them. Then they say to each other, "We are not doing what is right. Today we are silent and wait until morning light up with us. So let's go tell the king's household." The diseased man came and called to the city's gatekeepers and told them, "We went to the Aramean camp and no one was there. There was nothing but tethered horses and dogs." The gatekeepers called out, and the news was reported to the king's household. So the king got up in the night and said to his servant, "Let me tell you what the Arameans have done to us. They know we are starving, so they have left the camp to hide in open country, thinking, when they come out of the city, we will take them alive and go into the city." But one of his servants responded, "Please let messengers take 5 of the horses that are left in the city. Their fate is like the entire Israelite community who will die. So let's send them and see." The messengers took 2 chariots with horses, and the king sent them after the Aramean army, saying, "Go and see." So they followed them as far as the Jordan. They saw that the whole way was littered with clothes and equipment the Arameans had thrown off in their haste. The messengers returned and told the people went out and plundered the Aramean camp. It was then that 6 quarts of fine flour sold for a half ounce of silver, and 12 quarts of barley sold for a half ounce of silver, according to the word of the Lord. The king had appointed the captain, his right hand man, to be gates, but the people trampled him in the gate. He died, just as the man of God had predicted when the king had come to him. When the man of God had said to the king, "About this time tomorrow, 12 quarts of barley will sell for half ounce of silver, and 6 quarts of fine half ounce of silver at Samaria's gate." This captain had answered the man of God, "Look, even if the Lord were to make windows in heaven, could this really happen?" Elisha had said, "You will in fact see it with your own eyes, but you won't eat any of it." People trampled him in the city gate, and he. Trust in the Lord. The Shunammite's land restored. Elisha said to the woman whose son he had restored to life, "Get ready, you and your household, and go live as a resident alien wherever you can. For the Lord has announced a 7-year famine, and it has already come to the land." So the woman got ready and did what the man of God said. She and her household lived as a resident alien in the land of Palestine for 7 years. When the woman returned from the land of the Palestine at the end of 7 years, she went to appeal to the king for her house and field. The king had been speaking to Gehazi, the attendant of the man of God, saying, "Tell me all the great things Elisha has done." how Elisha restored the dead, the woman whose son he had restored to life came to appeal to the king for her house and field. So Gehazi said, my lord the king, this is the woman and this is the son Elisha restored to life. When the king asked the woman, she told him the story. So the king appointed a court official for her, saying, restore along with all the income from the field from the day she left the country until now. What a blessing. Aram's king Hassel. Elisha came to Damascus while King Ben-Hadad of Aram was sick, and the king was told, the man of God has come here. So the king said to Hazael, take a gift with you and go meet the man of God. Inquire of the Lord through him from this sickness. Hazael went to meet Elisha, taking with him a gift, 40 camel loads of all the finest products of Damascus. When he came and stood before him, he said, your son, King Ben-Hadad of Aram, has sent me to ask you, will I recover from this sickness? Elisha told him, go, say, you are sure to recover, but the Lord has shown me that he is sure to die. Then he stared steadily at him until ashamed. The man of God wept, and Hazael asked, why is my Lord weeping? He replied, because I know the evil you will do to the people of Israel. You will set their fortress on fire. You will kill their young men with will dash their children to pieces. You will reap. Wow. Hazael said, how could your dog do such a mighty deed? Elisha answered, the Lord has shown me that you will be king over Aram. Hazael left Elisha and went to his master, who asked him, what did Elisha say to him? He responded, he told me, you are sure to recover. The next day, Hazael took a heavy cloth, dipped it over the king's face. Ben-Hadad died, and Hazael reigned in his place. Wow. Judah King Ahaziah. In the 5th year of Israel's king Joram, son of Ahab, Jehoram, son of Jehoshaphat, became king of Judah, replacing his father. He was 32 years old when 8 years in Jerusalem. He walked in the ways of the king of Israel, as the house of Ahab had done. For Ahab's daughter was his wife. He did what was evil in the Lord's sight for the sake of his servant David. The Lord to destroy Judah, since he had promised to give a lamp to David and his sons forever. During Jehoram's reign, Edom rebelled against Judah control and appointed their own king. So Jehoram crossed over to Zair with all his chariots. Then at night he set out to attack the Edomites who had surrounded him and the chariot commanders, but his troops fled to their tents. So Edom is still in rebellion with Judah control today. Libnah also rebelled at that time. Oh, I was already ahead. The rest of the events of Jehoram reign, along with all his accomplishments, are written in the historical record of Judah's king. Jehoram rested with his fathers and was buried with his father in the city of David, and his son Ahaziah became king in his place. Judah's king Ahaziah. In the 12th year of Israel, King Joram, son of Ahab, Ahaziah, son of Jeroham, became king of Judah. Ahaziah was 22 years old when he became king, and he reigned of Israel's king Omri. He walked in the ways of the house of Ahab and did what was evil in the Lord's sight, like the house of Ahab. He walked in the ways of the house of Ahab, and did what was evil in the Lord's sight, like the house of Ahab, for his father married into the house of Ahab. Ahaziah went with Joram, son of Ahab, to fight against King Hazael of Aram in Ramoth Gilead, and the Arameans wanted him. So King Joram returned to Jezreel to recover from the wounds that inflicted on him in Ramoth Gilead when he fought against King Hazael. The Judah's king Ahaziah, son of Jehoram, went down to Jezreel to visit Joram, son of Ahab, since Joram was ill. Yep, we are done. Long readings these days. Over 25, close to 30 minutes reading. And this is interesting. Some of the stories, we read them before, so now we are seeing them again in Second Kings. Yes, because these stories are recorded in the book of Kings. So tomorrow we'll continue again from Jehu anointed as Israel's king, and we're going to see some of many kings that we read before, just getting a different angle and the point of the story. So may the Lord God be with you all, and we shall see each other tomorrow. Shalom. I love you all. Bye-bye.